with, I'll give the invocation, and then we'll follow that by a pledge of allegiance given by our, led by our HR manager, Jenica Standard, and then we'll move to that point. Our dear Heavenly Father, we come before thee this time grateful for our blessings that thou hast blessed upon us here in Box Elder County. We're grateful for the great employees that we have that work here, and we're grateful for the ability we have to meet and to govern for the people of Box Elder County. We ask that thy guidance and direction will be with us this day. And we ask thee to please bless and watch over those who serve us throughout this country, in the military and in law enforcement and fire, and those, especially those that are fighting the fires at this time in our country, that they'll be blessed and protected and watched over as they keep us safe. And we pray that thou will continue to guide and direct us in the things that we need to do and say, and that we can continue to accomplish those things that thou would have us do. And we ask for these favors and blessings this day. Say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Please stand and repeat the pledge of allegiance with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can we get an approval of the minutes from the 9th of June, 2024?
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes of June. Yeah,
June 9th, 2024, okay.
Yeah.
Second.
So we have
It's July 9th.
Oh, it
yeah.
is July 9th. You're right. I'm reading June on my agenda, but it is July
Yes,
9th.
it
You're
is
right.
July.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve the minutes from July 9th, 2024 from Commissioner
catch.
Summers, a second from Commissioner Bingham. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay.
Marvelous.
The administrative review reports, future agenda item, just as a report, I'll just mention the fact that we got our letter from the Department of Interior. Our annual PILT funding has come through, $4,037,435 is what we received as PILT payment. So our pennies in lieu of taxes, that's what our county received this year, so.
Well, when I first started, it was, under Obama, was 2,800,000 and something thousand. So some of the stuff that we go back in DC has actually helped if we're up 1,200,000.
Yeah,
So,
yep, it's moving in the right direction.
Yep.
but, anything on former agenda items? I don't have any emergency management issues. I do know, well, I will mention, just so, for those who don't know, we have a fairly large wildfire in the western part of our county out on the Hoggups, started by lightning. It's being handled mostly by air crews. They've got a few folks out there, but it's way out west. Started 2 days ago, so anyway. Nothing on ARPA or LATCF, but our Box Elder County employee recognition. So, we received 2 different nominations for this employee, and so I want to read both the emails that I received here. First one, our employee of the month for the month of July is Chad Gatehouse. And the letters go as follows. First, it said, last fall, Chad took a new position as the facilities maintenance tech at the road shed. It does not matter what task Chad is asked to do or if it is something that he sees needing to be done, he is right on it. Chad is always willing to give suggestions on how to do things or jumps right in to help others to get the job done. Chad always has the best interest of the county in mind with whatever he is doing. He is a great asset to the county and the citizens. This is why I'm nominating him for Employee of the Month. That came from a member of the Road Shed, Tyler Wagstaff. The other one came from our fair director, Jan. She said in November, Chad Gatehouse stepped up to take the task of our maintenance guy at the fairgrounds. There were a few loose ends going into the winter, and Chad quickly finished them before winter set in without any complaints. Chad always checks in with us at the fairgrounds to see what he can do to help us, even if it's not related to his maintenance job. He is so willing to step up and help where he can. He can step back and look at the big picture of the fairgrounds and lend a hand to help. The maintenance job at the fairgrounds has a wide variety of duties. He's willing to come in on his day off if there is a need. His unique personality adds to a special highlight to the fairgrounds and to various jobs. If Chad isn't familiar with a certain task, he's willing to learn about it, and he doesn't quit until it's done. Chad is happy to give suggestions on how to solve issues at the fairgrounds, and we at the fairgrounds consider him one of us and are happy that he is on our team. So with that, we'd like to welcome and have Chad come up front here and receive the certificate and appreciate him for what he's done for our county. So come on right. There's a certificate. We're going to look right over there and get a picture real quick. Okay.
I have to get you a stool. So I see you.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get it. Oh, I'm gonna get it.
Okay. And those are the two emails that came. Those are good for, like, those are the people who put you in, appreciate what you're doing for us. We just want to say thank you for what you're doing.
You know, when they said you were an asset, I thought maybe that was just. Chad and I have had a love-hate relationship for a decade, haven't we, buddy?
Well, we appreciate, like I said,
Yeah, I know.
we do appreciate our county employees, and especially when they step up. And we really like the fact that we have folks that are seeing employees that may not work directly for them or with them, letting us know what's going on. And so it's nice to know, like I said, what we're seeing out there and the things you're doing to make our county a better place to be and work. So, all right, let's go on to Attorney's Office. We're going to start with Madison. You want to come up? We'll do the approval for the ICAC grant MOU 2431.
All right.
You want to just sit at the table right here, pull that mic up, tell us who you are,
Okay.
and then tell us a little bit about what you want here.
Okay. My name is Madison Cordova. I am the investigator at the County Attorney's Office. And I'm here today because we have the opportunity to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Utah Attorney General's Office, specifically the Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force. By signing this memorandum of understanding, we would be awarded $10,000, which would allow me to continue doing investigations involving internet crimes against children. It would also allow me access to all of the facilities at the Attorney General's office, any training that I need to do, and all of the other resources that they provide. I started ICAC back in November of 2023, and I just wanted to give you a few stats of what I've been able to accomplish in that time and show you what I hope to accomplish by getting this grant received. So since November of 2023, I have made 31 search warrants. I've done 18 investigations, and I have had 5 arrests, including a hands-on offender last week who I was able to chat with on an undercover chat website, and we were able to intercept him at the Walmart, and he's currently being held in Box Elder County Jail. So I wouldn't have been able to do that without the help of the ICAT grant and the funding it allows me to have access to the computers for undercover work, as well as the software such as Celebrate, where we do the phone downloads. That is also used by other agencies here in Box Elder County, so it's a really great resource to download cell phones and get information from suspects that way. And with this grant for this year, I would like to continue doing these investigations and hopefully recruit some more officers to want to be on this unit to take down these violent offenders against children. And I don't think anyone can say no to that.
No.
Yep.
Do you use this for matching money at all, or just
For what?
for matching money on any other grants, so federal grants or anything like
No, it's
that?
basically just a grant that they give to us. It's actually for my signature, so we're just asking for approval today, but every year we have to renew it. And they give us what they've got.
Yeah, so you signed it last year, and then this year we were awarded more money, but with the expectation that we would still follow the ICAC standards.
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion or questions?
Nope.
No,
I entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the ICAC grant MOU 24-31.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Bingham, second, Commissioner Summer, to approve the ICAC grant MOU 2431. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thanks for all you
Okay.
do.
Thank you.
Much better that you do this than what I saw last night on the news, what happened down in Sandy, because, yeah, having people take it on themselves is not the smartest thing in the world. I don't know if you saw that or not, but a group of young people decided to take it in their own hands.
Vigilantes.
And they caught the guy at the mall and followed him around with video cameras, and of course, the possibility of him going rogue on him. Luckily, he didn't have a gun, because it made it turn really bad on those teenagers, so, yeah.
Well, luckily I had the help of the strike force.
Oh, there you
We
go.
were able to do a safe operation, take him safely into custody, and get a full confession, so that was
Good.
awesome.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, next item for the Attorney's Office will be Public Defender's Grant Agreement 2432. Michael.
Good afternoon. Michael McGinnis, the manager for Box Elder, Cache County Public Defender's Offices. Today we applied for our grant for the following year, for the 2025 year. All of our grants were thankfully renewed. We were notified from the IDC that some grants would be cut over across the board. Luckily, none of ours were. So we still have that funding from last year that we have. So I think that is partly because of our priority, because we are a combined system that moves us on the grant priority list.
Combined with box elder and cash. you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd make a motion that we approve the public defender's agreement 24-32.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Summers, second Commissioner Bingham, to approve Public Defender's Grant Agreement 24-32. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Okay. Let's see, there's that. Next item will be Participation Agreement 2433, the Kroger National Opioid Settlement. Do you want to say anything about it, or?
It's just another settlement agreement from a different company. I don't know if there's a whole lot to say, but
No, it's just part of the opioid settlements that come back to the county to assist us. We use those monies both with the jail as well as some with the Bearver Health Department to provide services dealing with opioid issues that we've had in the county.
Have you seen anything, I mean, way back when we were supposed to participate and go with an attorney's place, have you seen any downside of us not going with them? We were only one of a handful of.
no, other than
counties.
everybody got angry with us for not joining, and they tried to add a little contingency in that we had to pay part of the attorney's fees, even though we weren't the.
Right,
We are paying a little small portion
Yes.
out of this, yeah. And I don't know that this, and from what we've gathered, the Supreme Court decision that just came down is not going to have any impact on this for us.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve participation agreement 24-33 in the Kroger National Opioid Settlement.
Second,
I have a motion from Commissioner Bingham, a second from Commissioner Summers to sign the participation agreement 2433 in the Kroger National Opioid Settlement. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. I'll take care of that. Now, the next discussion item is August commission meeting schedule discussion. I think we kind of have an idea what we need to do here. So, Commissioner Summers, you want to talk about what you were talking
yeah,
about? I think, what-
Wednesday is kind of a interesting, the first would have been the 31st, but we're thinking about going on Thursday, the 1st, for our first meeting. That would be at night. And then the 14th, since we've got so much stuff going on in August, and I
Well,
think
the
that would be,
21st won't, normally it would be the 7th
Yeah.
and the 21st. The 21st just won't work because that's the first day of the fair.
that's why
We
we're
got way
moving
too many
everything
things going on.
around because of everything that's going on in August, so
So we
that's
want to make a motion to change our meeting to August 1st for the evening meeting and August 14th.
so moved.
Okay, I have a motion to change the meeting for to August 1st and August 14th.
Second.
I have a second from Commissioner Bingham. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so that'll be the two meetings. August 1st will be our afternoon or PM meeting. August 14th will be the daytime meeting, so. All right, and let's see, we've got, oh, there you are, Justin. I was gonna say, and Scott's not on here, but he did say you were coming, so we'll go on to community development here. Beckham's Edge subdivision.
All right, so Dustin Christiansen, Community Development. This is pretty easy today. So we sent out improvement agreement. We're waiting for a signed improvement agreement to come back from the applicant as well as the proposed plat for signatures as well. We have received nothing anyway at this stage. So today, in all reality, we just actually would like to table this matter and just continue it out until we receive the documents so we can get this finalized.
You think
Okay,
they're or they think you're tabling it, Darren, because we've shut them down from the Beckham's Edge? They're not?
So,
Darren, do you have
to
something,
come
if you
up.
have something,
Yeah,
Darren, why don't you
come
come up
up.
and that way we
Yeah.
know what's going on?
There's a
what's
couple
your
of
name?
challenges with previous phases with Beckham's Edge, and I was delaying the process, but we found out that by law I cannot do that. So we have to approve this one. And then the applicant just hasn't done his part of the paperwork yet, so.
Okay. All
So-
right.
So I have a question. I was reading the owner's dedication, and I talked to Steve about this for just a minute, and I'm a little bit concerned. In the bottom end of that, it says, "We also dedicate the drainage parcel to Box Elder County as shown for the benefit of phases 1, 2, 3, and 4, such to be maintained by Box Elder County." and Steve helped me understand why you do that. I'm concerned that if we do this, then in my little narrow way of thinking, we're actually subsidizing this developer. Because from this point on, if we sign this and agree to this, then Box Elder County's gonna have to maintain that forever. Why don't you just park up here so we can ask you a few questions?
So, in the past, we've had ponds placed on private property, and what happens is they don't get maintained, and then they don't function correctly. So we made the decision on mostly subdivisions that we require a dedicated parcel for the pond so the county can maintain it, make sure it functions correctly.
So can I ask another question?
Yeah.
The purpose of the pond is, this is the cheapest way to deal with it, right? Is there
Storm-
no other way?
stormwater.
Is there no other way to deal with the stormwater?
Well,
No,
Now, wait a minute, let him
no,
answer.
I'm just saying, we're working on it.
Yeah.
So in the past, what we've had for storm drainage are swells. And swells in subdivisions, it never fails, get filled in. And so then the storm drain is gone. And the storm drain becomes the road, so the water runs down the road. So in the newer developments, they're doing curb and gutter, and then that channels everything to boxes and then into the ponds. It probably is the best way to do it. That pond controls the outflow into our existing infrastructure. And if we didn't have that control rate, and we have the big surge 100-year storms, and it overwhelms the infrastructure on the existing roadways. And so that pond is a detention, and on some it's retention, and they don't even have an outlet. It's evaporation and absorption pond. So that is
So what's your infrastructure? Is it just a borrow or is it a pipe?
curb gutter, piped under the curb and gutter with storm drain inlet boxes, piped to the pond.
Yeah, but after the pond, you said,
Then after the pond, it's another box, and then piped out to existing infrastructure. Unless it's retention, then it just stays in the pond, evaporates.
so which is it? Is it a retention or a?
This one began as a retention, and now it's a detention. One of the challenges we had with the other phases that I was talking about earlier is the geotech report was incorrect. They didn't account for groundwater here at this site. And so the pond didn't absorb any and didn't evaporate quick enough. So in this phase, he's had to redesign the whole thing with additional cost to install infrastructure to put what they call orifice plate to control the rate flowing out to our existing infrastructure on an adjacent county road.
So I don't have any heartburn with that, but what I have the heartburn with, well, you probably know this as well as anybody. Last summer, when we had that big rain event, down in Willard, they had a pond that was filled up with gravel. It was washed there by all of that water. And then they spent tens of thousands of dollars excavating that out and moving that gravel so that the pond would then be ready for the next event. And that's my concern. I mean, what's to prevent if we have something like that might actually wash silt into that pond, and then it's on the taxpayer to clean that out? Is there no other option where the actual developer can say, hey, I'm gonna put together an HOA or something like this so the people are actually receiving the benefit from that? Can't maintain it, and then maybe we can have a contract saying, yeah, we'll be glad to come and help you, but you've got to pay the cost, or something of that nature?
So once the developer's gone, they're gone.
I know, that's why I don't want to sign
And
it.
so it goes back on to just the property owners in that subdivision. And where the current ponds are, whoever is adjacent to that pond, it's their responsibility to maintain the pond. It's just usually 2 or 3 homeowners.
Oh, so they know that?
Well, they don't. It's lost in translation. Fences get built in them. In South Willard, it's a South Willard flood district, so the county doesn't we help at times, but we don't do a lot with South Willard drainage. But yeah, it historically doesn't get maintained, and so I think we're money ahead with the county having a maintenance program, which is just mowing. These ponds don't get near the surge that we do off the face of the mountains. And it's our weed department mowing and spraying and maybe needing to clean out silt every 15 or 20 years, something like that. But I think it would, help us not have claims from flood damage. I don't know if that happened in South Willard, but when that one didn't function correctly, it flooded
No,
across
it
the
did
street.
function. It worked well. It just filled it up.
Well, it overflowed over and ran down
Oh, yeah,
the
went
road.
down the road, yeah.
Yeah,
So this subdivision is one of the ones that we have decided to rewrite to be able to make sure that they're so much higher than the road. And so if he would have done that in the first place, the retention ponds and things wouldn't have been necessary,
as necessary, correct?
as
yeah.
necessary. And then we're also in talking to him about having some sort of a bigger pipe that would help all the divisions and Tremont to be able to get to the water quicker and split all the problems we've had in Tremont and South Tremont and down through to be able to get it over to Salt Creek quicker. So at least we're talking to him to get us a bigger easement to be able to get some of that pipe over there quicker. That has been a problem for 100 years. But anyway, there's some, and I warned him about it when he came. The same thing, that the water always stood there, water never evaporated, water never came. So if you start putting more water there, then the problem is it's never gonna, so that's,
Destin, you're wanting
going
to
on.
table this today? Is that what you were talking about?
yeah.
So is there any way we can get these concerns back to him and see if there's not some way we can pound out something that'll make me sleep a little better at night?
What do cities do? I mean, other than they have infrastructure with sidewalks and things like that, I guess. And that's the weird thing. We're as a county, we don't have the city ability, and we've already had this discussion once about we can't charge impact fees. So if I was a city, I would probably charge this developer an impact fee to do some of this stuff for ongoing maintenance and cost. And I guess that's what we're trying to figure out as we look at that. Like, is there anything we can do as a county, short of letting them build the pond and give it to us, and then we have to maintain it? Is there anything we can change rule-wise as we're looking at it for planning and development?
I mean, there's always a possibility to
Yeah.
relook at things to a certain extent. The question is just, are we gonna end up with the same solution where we're at already?
Yeah.
Simply due to cost.
You
Yeah.
better pick that microphone. I don't think she can hear you.
So
Either one of them.
my view is,
That one's not on.
and I apologize, this is my narrow point of view. I'm thinking it's all about cost. And the way I'm reading that, it's gonna be the county's cost as compared to the developer's cost. The developer's gonna make his money and leave town, and then we're gonna be stuck with this till, I have a phrase,
Perpetuity.
I don't wanna say it. Yeah, perpetuity would be better than what I was thinking.
And maybe you could ask, you guys could go back and just check, because that was one thing, I don't know if we brought it up. Maybe there is a where we could do an impact fee on something like that on this place. I don't remember what the guy from Jones and Associate, when we met with him, if there's anything we could do with that, with these kind of developments, if we could say, hey, there has to be an impact fee that comes back that for the, and it could go back to the road department to pay for that ongoing maintenance that you guys take care of, but something, I think we ought to check into
Kind of take
that.
a look at what happens when a developer does a road and they get up to county standards and then they turn it over to the county. So I don't know if that policy would affect the same thing with drainage or not, but that would be something to look at.
Yeah, but anyway, just take it
Happy to
back.
look at
And I don't know, Steve, you'd have to probably look at the land use thing to see if they've already got our policy, I mean, you can't change it midstream, so it'd have to be now moving forward, but.
Yeah, just something to think about for the future, but.
Okay.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we table this.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Bingham, second from Commissioner Summers, that we table the Beckham's Edge subdivision, Phase 4. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, appreciate your help on that. Okay, next item on the agenda was buildings and grounds, but that's been removed at this point. We're not gonna do the generator bid proposal today, but we're gonna go to Human Resources, Policy 3 update. Janica.
Sorry, it seems like I'm always here with policy updates.
It's good.
So the policy that we're reviewing today
This one.
is about our pay statement delivery. Starting September 1st, we would like to deliver all pay statements electronically. As far as I can tell, that should save us about $2,000 and the time that it takes for the person to stuff them. So we figured with 6 weeks' notice, that might be good enough. And then employees can always print them off themselves. It's a quick delivery even to their phone. We just would prefer to do it electronic now.
Great idea.
Cool, great idea.
Yeah,
I make a motion. Oh, sorry. Do you want a motion?
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
You hadn't called for one, but I was just
I'm
making
good
sure.
with it.
You good?
Let's go
Make
for
a
it.
motion, we approve policy 3 update.
Second.
I have a motion to approve policy 3 update from Commissioner Summers, a second from Commissioner Bingham. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, that takes us to our next public comment here. Again, there's 3 things, or four basic issues here. Those wishing to make public comment need to sign the comment roll, which they've done. They'll be responsible for following the rules as outlined in the County Commission Rules and Procedures. The speakers each have 1 3-minute opportunity to speak regardless of the number of items they wish to address. Speakers need to address their comments to the County Commission only, and this is the time to be heard. There will not be back and forth dialogue with the commissioners during this time. Speakers can file copies of their remarks or supporting information with the County Clerk's office. If they so choose, that information can be made available to the County Commission. So with that, we have 2 individuals. Our first will be Deanna Hardy.
Okay, Deanna Hardy, Brigham. The minutes failed to mention that the Box Elder Committee of Liberty presented 2 more deceased individuals who received mail-in ballots for the primary election of 2024. It was stated that, quote, she feels this is happening all over the state and country since by mail was implemented. It is not a feeling, but a fact, because other areas are reporting the same issue. There was no mention that I personally requested not to receive a mail-in ballot, but continue to receive a mail-in ballot every election. This is wasting taxpayer dollars. According to the 2024 Canvass report, there were 400 citizens who also chose to vote in person, and that there were 325 ballots undeliverable, thereby wasting more of the taxpayers' dollars. The solution to all this waste is to return to in-person voting and stop mass mail-in voting. There was no mention in the minutes of 6/19/2024 of Utah Code 20A-3-502 and how the state and county governments are violating this code. Again, when you're voting in the home, away from a secure voting location, the citizen is subject to being intimidated, coerced, or bribed. The Box Elder Committee of Liberty questions why our government keeps turning a blind eye to violations against our Utah law, Article 4, Section 8, that all elections shall be by secret ballot. No one is to know which ballot belongs to which citizens. The government especially should not know, but they do know because the return ballot requires the voter's signature. Why is the Utah Code 28-3-502 also being ignored? The local voting precincts were implemented so that the voter would be protected from intimidation, coercion, and bribery, and that the secret ballot of each citizen would be protected. I also just heard last night that Utah is the only red state still doing mass mail-in voting. I ask why. Why are we still doing this fraudulent voting system? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next one up will be Rich Garrett. Rich, just so you know, you just have to introduce who you are, and then you can talk when you're talking.
I'm Rich Garrett. I live in Collinston. I represent a group of homeowners in our unincorporated portion of the county. We have an issue with irresponsible dog owners. Over the past 3 years, our neighborhood has had to listen to 2 dogs in particular. Their owners have kept 2 Great Pyrenees on 20-foot cables their entire lives. Their human interaction is limited to being fed and watered. The dogs start barking as soon as it gets dark at night and bark nonstop until the sun comes up in the morning. They also bark throughout the day. I don't know where they get the energy. I like to sleep with my windows open when it's cool enough. Currently, I'm forced to sleep with the windows closed, the air conditioner running, and an overhead fan on. I can still hear them barking. It's even worse on frigid winter nights as sound travels even better in the cold. 2 Sundays ago, one of their nearest neighbors told me that nobody in their house gets much sleep and their teenage daughter literally cries every night when she goes to bed, knowing she'll have to listen to the dog until she gets up at 5 a.m. to go to work. 2 weeks ago, I'd finally had enough after not getting any sleep at all due to the dogs barking all night. When I saw the lights come on in their house at 4:45, I drove over to the end of their road. I met the husband as he headed out for work. I told him I could no longer tolerate not getting any sleep. He didn't say much because he knew I'd talked to his wife about it over a year ago. Her response then was, "People are just going to have to get used to it." The dogs were quiet for a couple of nights, but started barking again. I've started calling the owners and asking them politely, as polite as you can be at 2 in the morning, to do something about the barking. The calls now go to voicemail. Last time I called, it was 3:20 a.m. When another neighbor asked the offending owners to keep their dogs quiet, the response was, "The great thing about living in the country is our dogs can bark as long and loud as they want, and there isn't anything anyone can do about it." As I was out visiting various other homes, I was told of other barking dogs that I do not hear. One neighbor calls the dog owners almost every night. Another neighbor told me he installed a window air conditioner in their bedroom specifically to drown out the barking. It helps to a degree, but the problem continues. No one hates more government regulation than I do. That's a fact. I'm not asking for a blanket ordinance for all unincorporated areas of the county, nor would I ask for an ordinance that would restrict animal noises on farms and ranches. I grew up on a ranch. I would ask you to consider an ordinance for the unincorporated areas with subdivisions, which would require the owners to keep their dogs quiet from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. to allow the opportunity for 8 hours of sleep or whatever the commission deems reasonable. I have 37 signatures that I gathered in about 2 hours in support of the ordinance, 21 of which are dog owners, including me. I really hate to ask for it, but since common decency doesn't work, I'm asking for the county to step in. The sheriff's department right now will not respond to barking dogs
Okay.
because they can't.
So Brad, if you want to provide a copy of that to.
I will.
To the county clerk, that would be great. She can provide a copy to us. Thank you so much for that information. All right, we've taken care of the warrant register. I don't think there's any personnel action. We took care of the volunteer personnel action here. No closed session, so I would take one final motion.
Motion
Go ahead.
second.
I move we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Commissioner Bingham, second for Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we're adjourned. You guys are both too anxious to adjourn. Oh, goodness.
You want to saturate this, though?